Hello and welcome to Talking Good Games match preview of Crystal Palace against West Ham United. Gonzo, can you kick us off with your thoughts on Palace, please?
Yeah, a bit of a topsy-turvy season, you have to say, for Palace. Not that they've ever really been at any risk of being relegated at all. Obviously, Roy Hodgson, I guess the original plan was for Roy Hodgson to see out the season. Certainly, Hodgson was asked to do an additional season above and beyond what he was going to be expected to do. So he only came back as an emergency anyway. But obviously, he fell ill and then couldn't continue. They got the new guy in, and I think much was expected, and I think they've been looking towards getting a new style of football for some time. So this is actually the third time they've tried this, I think. So the first one was De Boer, if I've got that right. But back to Hodgson, then Vieira, and went back to Hodgson. And now they got the new fella whose name escapes me, Glasner, something like that.
Oliver Glasner.
Thank you. And he has been meant to have heralded the new attempt to play better football. And I think it didn't start too well, Geo, to be fair. I think they looked pretty poor. But I do think they were missing, for some parts of it, Elise and Eze. And just as West Ham's luck, right at the point where we were about to play Crystal Palace, it looks like this all-encompassing, sweeping, beautiful football philosophy has finally landed, and they basically played Liverpool, didn't they? And they looked absolutely formidable. So I would imagine that Palace think they're going in the right direction. And the nice thing is for them, they can now do this without any fear of relegation. So this is probably the right time for them to do it. And I think probably better actually that a manager comes in, gets the second half of the season, find out what he wants to do, and then ahead of next season, they can really start the plan in there. So, yeah, I'm sure Palace fans will be pretty happy with what's going on.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you've just said, really. I think the first bit of the season, first half, 2/3 of the season under Hodgson, I thought it was crap, to be honest with you. I thought the football was dreadful, which you would expect. And I know he went in and sort of saved it from Patrick Vieira, but I still insist that they just stayed up with Patrick Vieira. The fixtures that came when Roy Hodgson returned were favourable to him, and he kept them in the Premier League. But that was his job. But when you kept him on for another year, so really is like that's your ambition at Crystal Palace, just to finish 17th and just sacrifice football. It's going to be unenjoyable, but as long as we're 17th, it's all right. So when Roy left, I thought, all right, okay, there's an opportunity here at Selhurst Park, because this Crystal Palace is not the same. It'd be a different conversation if we were discussing other teams like Brentford. With the greatest respect, Palace have a much better squad than Brentford, in my opinion. There's a lot of talent there, a lot of young talent at Selhurst Park.
There are, yeah.
So when he left, I thought, okay, what are they going to go for? Another firefighter? They're going to try and change his style. And when they got Glasner, there was a bit of me. The more I thought about it, the more I thought it was a perfect appointment, where I wouldn't have minded Glasner at West Ham in the summer should David Moyes move on, or should we not wish to renew his contract. I think football philosophy-wise, it ticks the boxes that I like. He wants to win games. He wants to attack, but he's adaptable. He won't go gung-ho. He's not quite Ange Postecoglou, which is attack. Yeah, but we're getting beat 3-0. Attack more. Keep going. We're going to get beat. It doesn't matter. Keep attacking. Yeah. He's not got that. He's responsible. So he wants to entertain. He wants to win games, but he's willing to win games in different manners. He will take the right approach for that opposition. And I think it's the right thing to do, because Crystal Palace, as much for just praise the squad, they're not good enough to have this Man City ideology, which is regardless of who we play the same way, because they're not that good. They're not good enough to do that. They've got to adapt for who they're playing. I think Glasner's the right manager, and I agree with what you've said in the sense that he's come in now. He's got over half a season to evaluate this squad and get involved in planning for the summer, because I wouldn't be surprised if Crystal Palace are expecting one or two players to leave, like Elise, for example. So they've got to plan for that and accommodate that in the summer. So having a man there that's going to be in charge next season, who can get involved and insert his opinion and views into the transfer strategy in regards to replacing Elise should they need to, is crucial. Because Had they waited until the summer, I'm not sure Glasner would have been available. And if he was available, there might mean other clubs than Crystal Palace trying to get him. There would have been Bundesliga clubs possibly trying to get him. West Ham might have tried to get him. And Palace might not have been able to lure him to Selhurst Park. So I think, I say a bit of a coup. I don't think it is. I think they are good enough for the manager of that ability, but I think it's a really good choice for them. And I think it's a really good choice by Glasner as well. I think they've got the players already, which will allow him to play the football he wants to play. He's not going into a squad. Even though the football was terrible under Hodgson, the players didn't really match the way that they played under Roy Hodgson. They've got some players that do, Jordan Ayew, for example, and Jeffrey Schlupp, but they've also got players that maybe defy what is the philosophy under Hodgson. It's a good squad, good manager, and if I was a Palace fan, I'd be quite excited for next season, actually, that you're going to see entertaining football away from a relegation battle, maybe have a pop at winning one of the trophies as well with a little bit of luck in the draw. You've got a manager there that's won trophies. He won the Europa League with Frankfurt, knocking us out in the semi-final. Anyway, in regards to the manager himself, you spoke about the situation he's entered. Have you got much of an opinion on him other than what you've seen against West Ham 2 years ago?
No, not yet. I don't have any. I don't really have any opinion on him yet. I do think he is better suited to get in. It's going to be key to the players. Let's be fair. If he can keep hold of his best players, he's going to do well. If you don't have the players, I don't care how good your philosophy is. You're just not going to get. Vincent Kompany would be a really good example. You know, he's got the philosophy, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? But he's not able to get it. They have a couple of absolute top class players there, and they pose a threat to anyone. And if you can get Palace playing on the front foot, which is what they want to do, and I think he's able to do that, he can only get better. And that's the key. If he can keep what he's got and add to it, and they've got the young Brazilian lad there as well, who's not really. I think he's not been lucky with injury so far, but he looks to be a real talent. If they can sort out and possibly another good midfielder, then they have real promise, And I mean they can give any of the top clubs a bloody nose if their top players are on form. Any of the top clubs.
Do you think they'll struggle to? You're sort of hinting to it there. Do you think they'll struggle to hold on to some of their top talent or all the top talent?
Well, I think let's just go with Elise and Eze. They are capable of playing for bigger clubs, and it's not for me to try and pimp Palace's players around. I don't like it when people do it to West Ham. You know, Bowen and Kudus are capable of playing for better teams than West Ham, no doubt about that at all. But it's hard. I think it's hard. I mean, the thing is with the Premier League is we're in this sort of halfway house at the moment with this financial fair play where there's not really enough money to allow you to go and spend massively, but there's plenty of money to keep your players. And there's no one in Europe, I feel, who can come out and spend huge amounts of money on players that are at clubs like Crystal Palace. You may well find, here's what I mean by that. I think Real Madrid can go out and buy the outstanding player in Europe, like Jude Bellingham, and can go and do 100 million for him. We've recently just heard that Bayer Leverkusen won 150 million euros for Wirtz. Well, good luck with that. You know, there's not too many clubs who can afford 100 million. Obviously, Bayern Munich can, just with Harry Kane. I think the point is, Palace can probably say, well, okay, you can have Elise, 75, 80 million. And I wouldn't blame them for pricing him at that. Who's going to be able to afford it? Nobody. So I just wonder if, by default, they end up keeping these players because without even Man City, and you look at Man City want Lucas Paqueta and they're trying to drive the price down now because even they know that they probably have to be cutting their cloth. They've already got 115 charges. They probably don't want 116th one. So do I think it'd be tough for them to keep their players? Yes, but as I say, I've just made a case that they may well keep them because nobody else can afford them, but they can afford to keep them. So I think they can do it. I really do. I think they can keep their players.
Yeah, I think the issue with Elise is he's got a release clause in his contract,
Okay.
which nobody really knows what it is. I think it was 35 million, and Chelsea tried to activate it, and Elise said, "I don't want to go to Chelsea, thank you. I'll sign a new one, Palace, get more money, but I'm still going to have a release clause in there." So his wages have gone up, so he's cashing in,
Sure.
but he's also got that sort of the agreement was I can still leave, you'll just get more money for me when I do
Yeah.
go. But even if it was, say, 60 million, there's still not that many clubs that can afford 60 million. This is where Crystal Palace, in my opinion, are in a win-win situation. They either keep hold of top talent or they cash in big bucks. And when they're competing with the likes of Brentford and Nottingham Forest and Wolves in the summer transfer window, they've actually got a little bit of money, whereas the other clubs don't. They've got the advantage. And if, for example, Nottingham Forest got relegated and Morgan Gibbs White was available because of their PSR issues, Crystal Palace are in a situation go, actually, we can afford that. We'll come in and offer you 30 million that you wanted. Not many clubs, while we're looking at big clubs saying who can afford Elise, say, well, actually, when you look at the next tier down, West Ham, Villa, Wolves, Newcastle, go, but who can, out of us, who can afford 50 without selling players? Who can afford 50 million on Gibbs White? Probably nobody. So it's actually those clubs that do have players worth a lot of money that do the sales will find themselves at an incredible advantage where they can almost, for years, the big clubs have almost cherry picked the players from the likes of West Ham and Wolves. But actually now there's almost like a second wave of that where these clubs now that do really well in transfer market can almost cherry pick from those with constraints because of PSR. And Crystal Palace, I think, are in a win-win situation. No player leaves, so we don't have much money to spend. Fine, we keep hold of our top players. One top guy leaves. Fine, we've got money to go replace him and improve the squad. And I think, their January transfer window was excellent as well, actually. There's not that many clubs I felt won the transfer window, but Crystal Palace was certainly one of those with Munoz coming in and a certain player I'll talk about in a second. But that leads us into the final question on Palace. Gonzo, any players you may have sort of mentioned them anyway, but is there anyone
I've mentioned them. I always like Anderson as a centre back as well. I think he's really good, cultured player. I don't think he's a brilliant player, but what I will say is I look at them from the outside and I think this manager seems to be getting the best out of Mateta. And Mateta's a player who's not a top level player and not even close to it, but he has qualities that really should produce more than he produces. A touch of the Benteke's, if you like. And I think he's getting it out of him, actually. I really do. So I think, listen, you're not going to be seeing Real Madrid or Manchester City coming in with a £60 million bid for Mateta. No, it'll be for Eze or Elise. But I do think he's going to, as a player, he is going to cause a lot of defences problems because of the way that Palace are now set up.
I think Mark Gay is an incredible centre-back. I think he's one of the best centre-backs in the league when he's fit and on form. I think Decoy's been a big miss for them all season, pretty much all season. It feels like I've barely seen him. He's been a big miss. I think when he arrived at Crystal Palace, there was a lot of hype around him. And sometimes when these players arrive at clubs, even with Paqueta coming to West Ham, there's a lot of sort of French-based journalists going, "Hey, hang on a minute, West Ham, why not Arsenal? Why has he stepped down, in their opinion, to West Ham?" And there was that sort of feeling with Decore going to Crystal Palace. So hang on a minute, why the European team not coming for this guy? And he's certainly been good enough, at least saying as you've mentioned. But the one I'm going to mention is Adam Wharton, who I would have loved him at West Ham. And 20 million is a gamble. It is a bit of a gamble to some extent. I've never expected him to be this good this quickly at Crystal Palace. That guy was running the midfield at Anfield already. He's only arrived 3 months ago. He looks destined for a centre midfield in England, and not so far away either. I think he's been superb. I've watched quite a bit of Palace under Glasner, and every game I've watched, he's been possibly the best player on the pitch, and if not one of the best players on the pitch. And I've seen him do it against Liverpool now and against Manchester City, where he's at worst held his own in there. Top player he is, and he's got a big future ahead of him. So well done, Crystal Palace and January transfer window. Wharton and Munoz, I think, were 2 exceptional signings for you. Right then, we're going to discuss West Ham. But before we do that, this video is sponsored by Match Bingo. Now, listen up. It's different this weekend, right? If you've got it, great. You're going to need to get involved, and you don't have it. This is the weekend to get involved because it's free.
Yeah.
The Crystal Palace West Ham bingo card is free. Every person can get 1 free card. The app is free to download. Links in the description below. You can scan the QR code that's on your screen, but do use that link, please, so they know you've come from Hammers Chat. It's free to sign up. You do not need to deposit any money in order to play this game. Some apps or sites you will have to deposit money to access the benefits of the perks. You do not have to deposit any money. So download and sign up for free, and then find the Crystal Palace West Ham game. It'll be on the front page. Click on Sunday, scroll down, and it will say from free. Click on that, click purchase card. It won't charge you, but if you don't deposit money, there's no money to take from you anyway, and you'll get the card for free. So what is Match Bingo? It's combining bingo with football. It'll give you 15 things you need to happen in the game. It could be Crystal Palace getting a corner, West Ham getting a goal kick, Crystal Palace taking a throw in, West Ham taking a kick off, which is guaranteed to happen. Hopefully, it only happens once, but you will need 15 things. It pays out first line, second line, and full house. Gonzo, last week against Fulham, won the second line. You won 2 lines. You won 50.
I won 2 lines. 50 quid.
Yeah, you won 2. Quid. You won 50 quid. I've won £25. Gonzo's won 50 quid. And we've had over 30 winners now from Hammers.
Easy. Maybe probably 40, to be fair.
Some of those winners have won multiple times as well. It's a brilliant app. It's a bit of fun, but everybody can get involved this weekend for free. It won't cost you a penny. So you've already got it. Get back on the app and get that card for free and play along on Sunday. We'll be doing the build-up show, the watch along. We'll remind you there, but we'd like to see what you've got in your card, and hopefully our subscribers can win a bit of money on Sunday. Link in description. Use that link. Gonzo, would you like to know the West Ham team news?
Yeah, go on.
I've got it written down again because there's a lot of it. Right, Jared Bowen needed an injection to play against Bayer Leverkusen, so David Moyes suggested he will have to wait and see how Jared Bowen is feeling ahead of Sunday's game. Emerson and Lucas Paqueta are back. However, they were suspended for the game against Bayer Leverkusen. They're available for David Moyes on Sunday. Alphonse Areola and Calvin Phillips did return to training on Wednesday, but neither were included in the matchday squad against Leverkusen. David Moyes has said he's going to have to check up on both of them ahead of the game at Selhurst Park. And the same is for Konstantinos Mavropanos, who went off injured against Fulham, did not feature in the squad last night against Leverkusen. And Nearfagerd twisted his ankle, rolled his ankle. He went off injured. Moyes has said he will have to check on both centre-backs ahead of the game. But George Earthy will be absent due to the concussion protocol, so he is unavailable for selection. So everybody is potentially available for this weekend. There's a lot of question marks, a lot of doubts, but likewise, we could have a full squad for this one, bar George Earthy. So I think for the nature of the preview, we'll just pretend everybody's available.
I think so, yeah. Why not?
Because it's quite obvious to work out what we do, I think, if somebody was unavailable. So with all said and done, take me through your goalkeeper and your defence, please.
I'd bring Areola back for this one because not only has Fabianski not done anything wrong, he's done an awful lot of stuff right. But I do feel that in terms of distribution, I think we're going to be under the cosh a little bit in this game. So I think we are going to have our best counter-attacking players. And Areola's fundamental to that because he releases the ball quickly rather than sort of hangs onto it for a little while like Fabianski does. So I think that's key. So yeah, Areola in goal for me.
And your defence?
I'm going to go with Soufal. Actually, I am going to go with Soufal. Mavropanos, Zuma, and of course Emerson. Emerson has to come back. That's really important.
I'm 50-50 with the right back. I agree with the rest. Areola for me, somewhat reluctantly, actually. Usually it's quite an easy decision, but I think Fabianski's been really good. And there's no more European games now. So if we're putting Areola back in for this one, I think we're basically saying that's the end of Fabianski, providing Areola doesn't pick up another injury between now and the end. So, but I would put Areola in because of his shot stopping. Because I agree we will be under the cosh, but I think we will also might find our goal getting papped a little bit by Eze and Elise from distance as well. So I want in my opinion, our best shot stopper, and I think that is what Areola is. So I'd have him in the sticks. Emerson, Zuma, Mavropanos, a bit 50-50 at right back, just more for keeping it fresh and fatigue. I thought Soufal did well against Leverkusen, but it's just, can we freshen up? Eze will be a tricky customer to somebody, whoever's there. You know what? I'm going to go with Soufal. I'm going to copy you. You've influenced me.
There you go.
So there you go. Right, moving into midfield, because this is where possibly the only big decision Moyes has got to make, really, because they performed admirably against Leverkusen, but Paqueta's available, and also Jared Bowen was juiced up for the game at the London Stadium. So do you want to juice him up again?
More juice. More juice.
Him?
Yeah. Double injection. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. Honestly, I'm not a medical man. Trust me. He'll be all right.
You sound a bit like Boris Johnson with the COVID-19 vaccinations. Double juice, he'll be all right. Trust me.
He'll have a party afterwards. He'll be fine. Before, during, they're free. He'll be fine. So yeah, I'd juice him up again. Feed him the legal stuff. Obviously, don't give him anything naughty. And yeah, I'd be playing him, which means I'm going to go with Alvarez, Souček, and Paqueta in central midfield for this one.
Yeah, I agree. And then Bowen, Kudus, and Antonio
would absolutely have to be. Yeah. I think the extra attacking player is key. We're going to have to try and pose these guys some problems. I think they've done really well. Hopefully, we said lots of nice things about Crystal Palace. But they haven't turned into Real Madrid. Let's get this right. So if our attacking players can play on form, then we need to get as many of them as we can and get them turning around and looking at them. And I think it's fair to say I don't want to belittle what Palace did against Liverpool. There was some really intricate, lovely football involved in that as well, as I'm sure everybody's seen. However, I do think Liverpool are not having the best of times right now. That the juggernaut, the Anfield juggernaut, seems to be blowing a gasket a little bit. So I think if we get them turned, we can get on them and get at them. And I think I had a check before doing this. I think even possibly Nathaniel Klein, who might be older than me, played in the defence as well. So yeah, I think they're there to be got at. So we need to play our best team.
Yeah, I mean, we've thrown praise their way, and obviously, like you said, there's context here, which is the return of Eze and Elise. But prior to that game at Anfield, they've recently dropped points against. They got beat by Bournemouth, drew against Nottingham Forest, drew against Luton. So the last result was fantastic, but a few previous to that suggests they are what they are, which is a team in the middle of the bottom half of the table, a team that's capable of winning, but just as capable of getting beat by anybody in that Premier League. So we have to, listen, attack's our best form of defence. We've seen that in the first 45 against Leverkusen. I've no doubt the players are going to be knackered, but this could be a right ding-dong of a game here, I think, because I feel confident Crystal Palace will score in this game because of the attacking talent they've got. I think they will find the net at least once. So we're going to have to pose our best threat, and we need to win this game. We'll get onto the magnitude of the match itself, but this ain't a dead rubber for us. You could argue it's possibly one for Crystal Palace, but certainly is not for West Ham United. And we need an 11 that screams we're here to win, because a draw is pointless to us on Sunday. Well, it's not. You get a point, but going forward, the difference between 10th, 9th, and 8th now is nothing. There's no. A few million, of course, but if the manager is off in the summer, what does he care? What's he asked about 6 million in the coffers at West Ham for?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's do or die. It's 6th or 7th or nothing. It doesn't matter if you're 8th or 11th. Money-wise, financially, there's a difference, but in terms of prize, no difference. We need to finish 6th or 7th now. The circumstances have changed drastically in the last week with the UEFA coefficient. We need 7. We win. On Sunday, we go 6. The pressure is put over to Newcastle and Man United, who played during the weekend. It was like, come on, man, what are you going to do? Can you go back above us? We need to deal with us. It is a bit harsh from Ward Prowse, who I thought was excellent against Leverkusen, but this is where I can get frustrated with Moyes, which is Leverkusen at home, Crystal Palace away. They're not the same. This is not the same team. You cannot have the same strategy for both games. just because it worked in that one doesn't mean it'll work in this one. So you've got to get Paqueta back into the team. We have to win. We have to score a minimum of 2 goals at Selhurst Park on Sunday. Right, Gonzo, big game for us.
Oh, yeah, a huge game. I mean, we need to win the majority of our games now, I think, between now and the end of the season. We can't rely on Chelsea losing all of theirs. And they're clearly going to win some. They've got some 2 or 3 tough games in the running themselves. But
we play Chelsea.
Well, absolutely, yes, but they more than just us as well. But this is it. If I don't think we lose to Crystal Palace and then qualify for Europe.
I agree.
I think we have.
I don't think we draw and qualify for Europe.
I would agree. Yes, so I think we have to win this, and then we have to go, and then back it up with another win. Then maybe get a draw. Then another win. That's excellent. There you go. There we go. We are in complete agreement at the moment. I also think that this English spring water is far better than Scottish spring water.
No. Stick with this one, thank you. But I know something else you'll agree with.
Go on.
That people watching right now, if you're not a patron, you should join Patreon.
They should do that.
But I'm going to give you a reason why. No, I'm not going to tell you about all the additional video content you get over there. I'm not even going to mention the fact that we've got a Q&A with Mark Ward next week where you ask the questions to Mark Ward. I'm not going to tell you about the online store discount that you get and the fact that we do one big giveaway, the fact that we're giving away tickets to Bayer Leverkusen recently. I'm not going to mention any of that. I'm going to mention one thing, and that's our prediction competition, because up for grabs this weekend is this signed Lucas Paqueta shirt. It doesn't matter what tier you subscribe to. So if you're an existing patron, get logged in now and get your prediction in. And if you're not a patron, you've ever fancied dabbling in it, now's the time to join up, because we are definitely giving this shirt away before the end of the season. You can join from £3.60 per month. The higher up the tiers you go, the more you get, the more bang you get for your buck. The link's in the description below. You can go to patreon.com/Hammers Chat. But get involved in the prediction competition. If nobody gets it correct in the next 5 games left, nobody gets it right at the end of the season, anybody who's entered all 5 competitions starting from this one will go into bowl, we'll pick one out, and someone will win the Lucas Paqueta shirt. So even if you get no correct predictions, you still might win a signed Lucas Paqueta shirt. Patreon helps the channel out a lot as well. It generally does. One person joining up to Patreon helps us a lot. So thank you very much for this support.
I knew you were going to talk about the prediction competition.
Yeah, I thought you did. Were you predicting I was going to...
I did tell a few people, so he's going to talk about that.
Your prediction was Gio's going to talk about the prediction.
Yeah, I predicted your prediction, yeah.
Anyway, hopefully 1 or 2 people, do you know what? Because come to the end of the season, we find it hard to promote it during the summer for obvious reasons. There's no West Ham matches, so more people that can join up now in next month would be greatly appreciated. Right, Gonzo. Are you confident? Let me write down my Gonzo score prediction while you do this.
No, we're crap after we play in Europe. I mean, we have fatigue. There's no doubt about it. You know, that's was a lot of people after the game against Leverkusen in and around the stadium were saying we just got tired. And we did. And yes, of course, that's going to be the case with the small squad, but we also traditionally we're tired on the Sunday as well, and that's pretty. So no, it's very, very hard to be confident, particularly against a lively team who have probably got more rested players than we have. Are probably going to be very, very vibrant, moving the ball around quite quickly. I imagine we'll be chasing shadows actually at the start. So yeah, it's hard to be confident because I'd imagine we'll start slowly. I think.
It will be. It's always a tricky place to go. We've done okay against Palace in the years, and they've done okay with us. And there's always a banger when we play Crystal Palace. There's always a screamer of a goal. And there's certainly enough players playing on Sunday to come up with one as well. But winning at Anfield, and while their season sort of mathematically looking at the league might be a bit of a dead rubber, but with the new manager sort of reevaluating players and stuff, they've still got something to play for. And the vibe I get is their fan base is now. Speaking of juicing up, they've been juiced up with a little bit of enthusiasm and optimism for next season. They're probably already looking ahead to next season, maybe a little bit hopeful for the summer that they can get 1 or 2 players in because they've seen the January transfer window. And they've seen the success of it with Munoz coming in and playing like a real good right wing back, and Wharton coming in and thinking, hello, can we have another couple of them? Suddenly we've got a really good squad here. We've got a manager now that's in sync with the fan base. So there's a lot of things to like at Palace, and I think that creates a difficult atmosphere for us to attend to. And like you said, we are awful after Thursday night football. We are. So much so, and I will say, at least Moyes is consistent about this, because he's always said about how we struggle Thursday, Sundays. And when he was referring to Palace beating Liverpool, he said, yeah, but Liverpool played on Thursday, didn't they? And I thought, oh, at least you're consistent and you apply it to everybody rather than just yourself.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of optimism, though, Gonzo. I've got a little tingle because of that first half against Leverkusen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before Monday, Tuesday, I was really grumpy. I was fuming Monday, Tuesday.
You're grumpy most days, to be fair.
Hey, I was particularly grumpy Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, Bourne was back in training. I got my hopes up a bit. Thursday, I was really excited for the Leverkusen game. Thursday night, I felt proud of the boys. Today, Friday, that first half has given me a little bit of hope. And I did something silly earlier. I decided, for a little bit of fun, because we'd recorded these videos a bit later on Friday because somebody was tired, not hungover, just tired, not me. I did. Do you know those websites where you insert your score predictions for the rest of the season?
I wonder what you're going to say then. Yes.
So I did that, and we came out 8th place. So obviously not good, but we were a point behind Chelsea, and I thought, hello. And I only put us down for a draw for this game in that thing. I tried to be harsh on West Ham. I only put us down for 2 wins. One of them, admittedly, was at Stamford Bridge, and the other one's at home to Luton. But what I realised when I was doing that was Crystal Palace played Man U and Newcastle. I think Newcastle played Man U. They played Chelsea. There's a lot of teams playing each other around us. And I've made a really big mistake in starting to believe that we can get 7th. And I almost hate it. I'm saying to myself, stop it. But if we win on Sunday, we go 6th. And because Man U and Newcastle don't play this weekend, we stay 6th on Monday. And then Crystal Palace play Newcastle during the week. So come on, Palace after Sunday. That's all I'm going to say. So I've got optimism, but I'm not confident. Can I get any final words from yourself and your score prediction, please?
I've got your score here, by the way.
I assume that. I hope that's what you were doing.
Just drawing. I'm so bored of what you were saying. I was writing a shopping list. I am worried. Okay, here's what I think will happen. Because I think we'll start slow. Don't scribble when I'm doing this. I'll make sure you've got I don't want you amending it. All right, that's better for authenticity, because there'll be some adjudication going on here. I think we'll start slow. We'll go goal behind. I think we'll really rally. And then what we'll do is we'll score another goal, and then another goal again. Kudus will score, right? Definitely. We'll be 2-1 up, and then he'll sit back. And then Palace will score a late goal, making it 2-2.
I didn't do that. I said 2-1 Palace.
What's that thing underneath Palace?
It's a sad face.
Oh.
It was almost like I was inserting a bit of sympathy on your part. So when you said 2-1 Palace, I say, look, he's sad about it, though. He's
I predicted his sadness.
Weirdly, I think we'll do the opposite. I think we'll start quite fast, actually, but I think we'll burn out pretty quickly. And I think Palace will be able to inflict a bit of damage on us similar to what we've just seen against Leverkusen, I guess. We will just run out, because as much as I want to see rotation and fresh legs, both of us have just sat here and said pretty much the same team, please, Gaffer. Although Paqueta and Emerson are coming in, but that's it. Mav Panos didn't play, but he was injured, so it's not like he was rested. We're bringing 2 players back from injury with the keeper and Mavropanos, and 2 players back from suspension. But I don't think we're going to do it. I'm going to say Palace 1, West Ham 1. What have you got?
I've just dropped something on the floor. Hold on a second.
Hey, what have you got? There you go. I mean, hopefully your incorrect prediction is right. I think it'll be 1-1, which it's not enough. It's not enough. We need to beat Palace, we need to beat Chelsea, and we need to beat Luton. And we might even need to nick a point against Liverpool and Manchester City, as well as other results going our way. It's a slim hope of European football. I know people are going to say, forget European football, you're deluded. Maybe so, but I'm hopeful. I just really want it.
Yeah, I know.
Right then, that's it from us. We'll be live at 1:55, 3 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. We'll be live at 1:55. It's because we're not on TV. Before someone asks why it's a weird kickoff time, we're not on TV. We're only playing on Sunday because West Ham are playing European football on Thursday. That's why it's a strange kickoff time. So we'll be live at 1:55. You're going to the game, enjoy it. If not, come back here. But if you enjoyed this preview, please do drop a like, comment by clicking thumbs up. Helps out the channel, helps out the video, makes me and Gonzo really happy. Subscribe new to Hammers Chat, and make sure you download the Match Bingo app. Link is in the description, and get your free card for the Crystal Palace West Ham game. We'll see you on Sunday.